What up everybody, it's Chris from Shot by the Robot. I'm a photographer based in Colorado, and it's been a minute. You can see a big difference since the last time a video was posted. 2020 was wild, but we're back in it, trying to put this content back. And one thing I've been personally doing recently is I've been working on a print portfolio book, the first book I've ever actually done. And so that made me go look at all my old photos and, over the past 5 or so years. And that made me think about, learning photography, and in this particular video, learning lighting. A lot of my favorite stuff that I did was because of the lighting that I was able to create. And I want to just talk about a few resources that taught me how to learn lighting. Now, if you are the type of person to be like, I'm a natural light photographer, now if that's your preference, cool. But if you're doing that because you are scared to learn lighting, don't be. It's not hard. It's simple stuff. If you can use your camera, you can definitely learn lighting. Personally, I was kind of like, I started the same way. I was like, I want to just do natural light, but you can't do that in Colorado because around 4 o'clock November, like, it's dark. I gotta turn the lights on at 4 o'clock. So if I'm turning lights on here just to see, imagine what your camera is looking like at 4 o'clock in November. That means you're not shooting at that time, and we don't want to do that. You want to, get your light out here. Now I know a lot of people, you might see these videos, you see people, they got people holding up the light for them and everything. I don't have that, and I'm still out there shooting. So I just want to talk about, 3 resources that taught me how to use lighting. Number one, this website is around, you probably heard of it if you're thinking about learning lighting. It's Strobus 101. A photographer named David Hobby. He used to be, or still is, a photojournalist, and he did a lot of, when you're doing that, you're kind of a lot of everything. You're doing portraits, someone here, you're doing editorial, like environmental portraits, you're going to be doing a lot of stuff with live shooting, and so you have to learn how to light for different situations. He teaches you the basics, everything. Excuse me. Cut that. So David Hobby is a good one. He's going to teach you the basics. He's going to teach you how to do off-camera lighting. He's going to tell you what you should buy. He updated it earlier this year, actually, and all the information, almost everything I agree with. He tells you to go Godox speedlights. I recommend those. Yongnuo, I don't know how their lenses work because they don't make lenses for Fuji, but their speedlights, they are unreliable. They're cheap. They're unreliable. I personally used to use their lighting system, and I've had to replace them maybe 2-3 times. And I personally, I've had them die on me during jobs multiple times. Like one time I was shooting an event, and I had the one light on me, and that's what I was using because it was early when I first started shooting, and I thought my batteries or something like that died, and I ran to the gas station to get batteries because I didn't have any new ones with me. It was just a light, and it just started not triggering sometimes. Luckily, most of the shots that I had actually used it for were done, and everything else was just kind of running around the event, taking running gun shots, so it wasn't a big deal, like I didn't kill it. But yeah, that was huge, the fact that that light went out on me here, and I went to that maybe of course learn. You should always have backups because that's what happened to me at another job. I had 2 lights, pop, we are at the birthday party, and I'm like, this is gonna be my key light, this is gonna be my fill light, and guess what? It's tested, everything good. People come in, they start taking pictures. My light over here stops working. My Amazon basic light, that was my fill light, continues to work. My Amazon $20 basic light continues to work. I shift it over, get the umbrella, turn up the power a little bit, and we got to make up those shadows in post. Shot the Fuji, you recover shadows pretty well, so it ended up not being an issue. But I tested everything, get the lighting set up perfect, and then when people come, all of a sudden it stops working. Yongnuo, after that, been Godox 100%. So Godox TT600 is what he recommends. You don't need TTL. I mean, maybe you need TTL, but I don't think you need TTL. I personally never use TTL at all, and so I'm good on that. He recommends a different light stand than I personally use, but it's actually one that I want to buy because it's a travel light stand, so it folds up very small, and then it goes up to 7.5 feet. I personally have tall frames. Now the only difference is I recommend the Godox X Pro trigger compared to that one, just because the screen's bigger, it lights up very bright, and it has the scroll wheel, and I think the scroll wheel makes it easier to you know, just how smooth that is. Just, I think it's easier to change settings. Once you go through that one, learn everything, learn about your bounce flash as well. He does teach about bounce flash, bouncing off the ceiling or the wall, depending on where you're at. Then I recommend you check out number 2, Nick Fancher Studio Anywhere. That is a book. It's an actual book. You can buy that, but I think it was his first one, so it didn't get a big publishing run. So that one's going to cost you, if you get it on paperback right now on Amazon, it's $48. But the Kindle version is $15. I personally have the Kindle version. As you can tell, I'm putting a screenshot here with the video and all that stuff, so I'm kind of waving my hands. You can't even see this. Woo! But you can see I bought this back in 2015. This is like one of the things that helped me learn lighting. Now, he also does a lot of hard lighting because a lot of his stuff is on location. And now there are things you can do to like, you know, bungee your bag to your light stand and stuff like that. But sometimes, depending on how far you're away, you don't want to do that, right? So he does a lot of hard lighting because modifiers equal wind equal light go boom. So I definitely recommend him. He made me learn more about how to utilize hard lighting. I personally, a lot of my photos that I love are, a lot of them are hard lit. And he also, Studio Anywhere 2, teaches you about using more hard light, but also about using gelled flash a bit more to create light. So you'll actually see what beginning of his third book, which is Chroma. I haven't read that one yet, but it's about using light. But he teaches you, you know, the beginnings of that. I think is really dope. He teaches what he lives. I think it just goes a little bit more in depth and with more photos and examples than David Hobby does. So Nick Fancher, spending a few bucks, $15 on Kindle, cop that. Number 3. This is going to be for those of you who have a little bit more disposable income. It's going to cost you a few bucks. But if you're into photography as a profession or a hobby, you know it's an expensive, pursuit. Number 3, if you got the funds for it, Zach Arris, Dead Pixel. If you're into Fuji, you probably know who he is. One of the first, like, more or less ambassadors of Fuji. The guy who actually, probably the reason I know about Fuji and the reason I started shooting back in 2014 is Zach Arris, and he has One Light 1.0 and One Light 2.0. Now, if you got a few dollars on that, One Light 1.0 is $50. It's older. It's not as polished, not as well edited. It's looking like, it's kind of looking like I shot it. Now, the information is good, but, you know, just the editing, the shooting, and everything, it's not great. Now, One Light 2.0, very well done, very well shot, very well edited, sounds good, all that good stuff. He takes you to different shoots. That's the same thing, 1.0 takes you to different shoots. It's just not as well done. It's more running gun style, looks like something like, you know, and then you can see the difference between that. Fun fact is his son shoots and edits a lot of his stuff now, and he's very good. So with that 2.0, if you got the funds for it, go with that one. If not, 1.0 will teach you all the things here as well, but it's just, you know, doesn't look as pretty. But yeah, those 3 definitely taught me a lot about my lighting. You know, I've been kind of sprinkling my own photos throughout this video here, and you'll see that while I personally like my lighting, I like a lot of my stuff, I'm definitely not a master of this at all. So with that, if there are videos or someone else or information you think will help somebody, free or paid, because, you know, we got a wide range of people on YouTube who might come across this video, hit the comments, let them know it's good. If you got the cheat code, he's like, yo, Chris, this is the real right here. He's going to teach you how to, you know, this is where you're going to learn how to do those GQ ad advertisements, lighting type of stuff. I want to know. Hit them comments. Holla at your boy. With that, I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you got some knowledge out of this. Hopefully this worked out for you. And, you know, if you get something dope out of this, and please link it. I want to see if this helps somebody out and you learn something dope from this and you go start lighting it up and you get better than me. I'm gonna be kind of pissed, but at the same time I'm gonna be happy because I'm like, yeah, I inspired somebody. So with that, I just want to say, you know how it works with YouTube. Happy to be back. Give it that thumbs up if you made it that far. Subscribe, it helps your boy out. We're trying to get in these algorithms. Peace.